Hey, what's up, everybody? Here again for a Wednesday Q&A, a little later than normal, but here I am. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off just with two things, and if anybody pops in with questions after or before I'm done with this, I'll answer them. And if you see this later and have a question, just comment it, and I'll be happy to answer in the comments. So the first thing, and this is something I wrote about yesterday, but the first thing is, sometimes I'll run into somebody who's having an issue with their chest, like a certain body part lagging behind, right? So maybe their chest is lagging behind and they have really solid lower body strength. Maybe it's the opposite, they're struggling with maybe they're like I was, and they trained upper body for years and didn't train lower body, so the lower's lagging behind. And again, everybody, what's up? And if you have questions, feel free to comment them and I'll answer. But what I would like to just kind of say is, a lot of times we have this in our head of our program, our workout program has to be perfectly balanced. It has to split upper lower well. It has to have a push and pull and everything that's balanced out. But the truth of it is, sometimes, just like in life, it would be great if we all had perfectly balanced lives and could be great at everything we do. But unfortunately, sometimes we have to kind of bump some things down the priority list and something in order to focus on some things a little bit more. And so your workouts are the same. So if you're somebody who has, you already have really strong legs, things like that, but you're struggling with your chest, just as an example, it's okay to tack on a little bit of time on a workout, maybe an extra 20 minutes and do some extra chest sets, even if it seems like you're doing more of that than something else. Or, a lot of people, if I say that, might automatically think, well, I don't have 20 more minutes. My time at the gym is already limited. In that case, I would even tell you to scrap some of the other stuff. So if people do all kind of different splits. So, if you're doing a full body split, if you're doing, whatever it is, I'm just going to throw out an example here. Let's say you're doing a 3-day full body split. So you go in there and you do a squat, a bench press, a deadlift, or something like that. If that's the case, I would say most people do that, and then they'll throw in some accessory work. So they'll do some biceps, triceps, calf work, abdominal work, whatever it is. They'll throw in some extra stuff. What I would say is, prioritize whatever that biggest muscle group is that's weakest. So if it's your chest muscles, sticking with that example, maybe still do the bicep curls, but instead of doing 3 sets, do 1 set. Still do the tricep dips or whatever you're doing. Still do them, but drop a set. And so that way you give yourself a little bit of room to still to add in additional chest work and still not neglect those other muscles that you want to hit, but just do a little less volume on them so that you're able to give some more time to the chest. Whatever the biggest muscle group is that is lagging behind for you, that's something. So let's just say in terms of lifts, your squat, your deadlift, your bench press, your overhead press, whichever one of those is weakest for you. And I don't mean lowest number, because obviously the shoulder press is going to be weaker than your deadlift. It's a lot fewer and smaller muscles involved. But when I just mean proportionately, whichever one to be the weaker area, try to find a way to prioritize that for a month or two in your training, and let it catch up, and then get right back to kind of a balanced schedule. So think long term you want balance, but short term sometimes you have to think priorities if one thing is leaving something else behind. The second thing that I was going to address here is I get anytime I'll say hey, what could I do better as a fitness coach? What could I put out more of? I always get somebody, at least one or two people will always say you could put out some recipes, recipes for what to eat, for lunch, dinner, whatever. The reason I don't do that, there are really two reasons. Number one, I don't cook much of anything. And the times that I've tried, my wife has asked me to please not do that again, very politely. I'm just not a good cook. So anything that I would put together is probably not what people are going to really want to eat. My wife, on the other hand, is kind of a master in the kitchen. She would not say that, but her food is so good. Anybody who has come over to our house and had it will testify to that. But for her, it's more she's starting to write down some of the recipes, but it's more kind of an eyeballing kind of thing. So for me, the reason that I don't do a lot of recipes, I'm very simple. If I were a single guy and the times that I'm just doing my own thing and she's not cooking, sometimes I'm off, out and about and I'm doing stuff for breakfast and lunch. if that's the case, I'm usually taking like a protein shake to go. So I can give you some protein shake recipes, or I'm doing like, tuna, with a can of tuna with some veggies and like some chips, like, some tortilla chips or something like that. So for me, it's very, my wife is the awesome cook. I don't know anything about cooking. I'm awful at cooking. I can cook eggs. I can do pancakes. So like a few breakfast foods, okay. But that's really the biggest reason I don't do a lot of like recipes or like put recipes out there. That's the main reason. The second reason is I'm not a nutritionist. I don't want to be liable for putting info out there that is going to like, I know how to program it for your Gordon. Tuna's not disgusting, man. If you don't like it, don't eat it. I think, what was I going to say? Gordon, by the way, I saw a text come in. Whatever that question was, just ask it here, man. I'm happy to answer it live, whatever it was. But I would just say that, like, nutritionists, they are educated enough to, like, help you dial in every little piece of your diet. For me, as a coach, I'm helping you focus on your calories. I'm helping you focus on eating mostly whole foods. And I'm helping you dial in, like, your protein, carbs, and fats, the main macronutrients, to reach your goals. That's the extent of what I'm doing. So I can give you some recipes that are going to help you balance that. Anyway, so that's good. I do, man. Whatever it is, go ahead. But those are the two things I kind of wanted to address here. So recipes, if the people who are asking for recipes, if you see this, tell me what kind of recipes you're really looking for. Are you looking for like a protein shake recipe, something that's not going to be bad? Are you looking for whatever it is, if you're looking for like food, just let me know. How do you get your facial hair to grow better than your hair on your head? Well, I trim both. Sometimes I hate, man, even honestly, like I'm cutting my hair today. Like this is too long for me. Like I don't like the fuzzy feel. Like I feel like one of those things that like people, what are they, like the things that people like put the little seeds in and then the hair like sprouts out of the top. It's like a plant. Like I feel like one of those when my hair gets like fuzzy. I just really want it to be like really, really, really low. And my beard is even getting like a little longer than I want it. So I'm actually gonna like trim everything like probably within the hour. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for the question. Hope if anybody has any other questions and you see this later, shoot me a message or a comment or whatever, and I'll be happy to answer there. Happy Wednesday.